financial statements for Ontario Condominium Corp. This is for the fiscal year December 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019. So let's start with page 3 of financial statements. That's the balance sheet with the operating bank and reserve bank account. So we have around $109,000 in operating bank and $1.6 million in reserve bank account. For the operating bank, even though it looks like the corporation has good amount of funds, I want to bring to board's attention that there are many accrued liabilities. As you can have a look here, we have $39,000 accrued liabilities, $27,000 accrued hydro, and so on, accrued water, accrued gas, and so on. So let's have a look at the net operating fund. We have a deficit of $22,000. So this is a significant concern for the corporation. Usually, it's a good practice for condo corporations to have at least 1 to 2 months worth of common element expenses or operating expenses in the operating fund. Let's compare this with the homeowners assessment. So we have around $240,000 homeowners assessment per month. So for 2 months, the figure will be $480,000. So ideally, our corporation, Condo Corp, uh, should have between these two figures, between 240 and $480,000. But considering the deficit, it's very clear that Condo Corp is short of $262,000. Again, which is a very major concern for the corporation. So my recommendation is that since we are in month 9 of this fiscal year, we should have this deficit recovery done in the next year's budget. So we can have this conversation in the budget meeting for the next fiscal year. But yes, I highly recommend to follow that approach to have it recovered in the next fiscal year so that we don't land into the same position and the deficit in the next fiscal year. So next, let's have a look at the reserve fund. We have 4.8 million. We have 4.8 million in the reserve fund. Let's compare this with the cash flow table as per the reserve fund study. So as per the cash flow table, Condo Corp should have around $2.8 million in reserve bank in reserve fund. So yes, our figures look pretty good here. So we are doing good with the reserve fund. I also want to show the reserve investments. So we have around 2.8 millions in reserve investments, which is very good. So we are doing good with our by investing our money. Next, let's have a look at the net income for the December month actuals. So I think it's here. Yes. So actual spending. So not spending, like actual, it shows all the collections and spendings, and then here we have the net income. So for net income, we have $12,000 and the figure is positive. So this seems good here. Let's move on to owner's aging summary. We have two major concerns here, co-op and com. These are the the shared entities, and they are owing big amounts, $36,000 and then $10,000 approx. So as board is aware, we are in contact with our legal counsel to have these charges collected. Next is the Townhouse 6. This is a legal unit and they are owing more than $1,000. So management has been sending them regular reminders. So this is something that is in process. Let's have a look at the variance report now. Variance report. And as you know, the variance report was also shared in the board meeting package. So we will not go over all the items one by one. Unless board has some questions, feel free to ask. But let's focus on the significant items here. For example, the GL code 9522, fire safety non-contract. We have a variance of $28,000. So corporation budgeted for around $4,800 here. However, corporation spent more, which is $33,000. So the reason for this variance is that management has received many reports from security and concierge staff that there are fire panel troubles coming, and every time we have the fire panel troubles, it's always good to contact the fire technicians, and whenever they come on site, it's discovered that they had to replace some items, for example, the smoke detectors. And there have been many different devices replaced all at different locations. So again, every time there is a trouble, it's associated to a different location or some other different missing devices that are being addressed by fire technicians every time a service call is placed. So that's number one. And secondly, as board is aware that we have had um, two fire alarm incidents as well, and the fire trucks were on site. So yes, and uh, this GL code was also used in order to pay for the expenses for the deficiencies that resulted into the fire alarm. And yes, again, as this is related to fire safety, so it's very important that these repairs are addressed ASAP and to ensure that there are no violation notices by City of Toronto. So the good thing is we have had all the repairs done properly, and currently corporation has no uh, violation notice, and we are in compliance as per the standard. So yes, that's all about our financials today. And if board has any questions, feel free to ask. If not, we are good to go. Thank you, everyone.